Let's talk about my favorite concept in the world, sales, 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 sales. So I'm just going to jump right in here, guys, because, again, this wasn't a planned thing. I just wanted to get it out here. The first thing that I really want to discuss is simplifying your presentation, okay? Simplifying your presentation. Now, what do I mean by that? This is the whole idea of, features and benefits, and that you want to sell you want to sell benefits, never features. I've been talking to some people recently, seeing some of their presentations, their pitches, and it's just way, way, way too complex, guys, like way too complex. Like, I get why you're trying to talk about all these Zapier communications and follow-ups and all this type of stuff, especially in your proposals, but at the end of the day, guys, they don't know what any of that stuff means. They only care what are the benefits for it. So when I say sell on benefits, not on features, which is like a rule, guys, this is very, very important. What I mean by that is, instead of talking about like selling about pixels and how you're going to Zap connect all these different things, and we're going to host it on WordPress and design or whatever techie speak you've got, talk about what the benefits for the customer are going to be. Talk about how they're going to live the life they want, how they're going to not have to worry about marketing campaigns anymore, how they're going to get new customers. This is absolutely critical, guys. Absolutely critical. Because at the end of the day, remember this, like anyone watching this, remember this. People just want a push button and to quote, watch it work. Like, that's it. So that's how we want to pitch it, right? So yes, we want to explain a little bit about our back end, talk about it, but at the end of the day, the whole thing should be about what their life is going to look like when they utilize your service. And this doesn't matter what you're selling. I don't care. This is lead gen, anywhere in sales. What you need to do is get them to envision utilizing your service and what that looks like. You need to sell the dream, okay? Another term for this is future pacing. And future pacing is a concept that I first learned about in NLP, as well as in some other sales materials. And I've come to realize it's probably the most powerful way that you can sell. Okay, and what do I mean by that? So there's a lot of ways that you can do future pacing, things like that, but it's really like a 3-step process. And the first step with future pacing, and what it means, guys, let me take a step back. What it really means is getting your prospect to envision inside their mind and picture utilizing your service and what their life is going to look like if they utilize your service. Okay, so for example, you want to plant seeds all throughout your presentation of what it might look like. And these are the 3-step process for that, guys, in order to utilize future pacing properly. First, you need to acknowledge where they are, where they're currently at. Okay, so let's say that we're working with a business owner who, has struggled to close leads and it hurts, and the front desk isn't very good, and they kind of know it. So you acknowledge it. Hey, man, you told me where you were, but after you utilize our service, once you get dialed in with our service, everything lead handling, can you imagine a time when you don't have to worry about your front desk, screwing up anymore, and the leads are actually coming in? You no longer have to worry about bad leads or bad marketing campaigns, right? So what I did there is you acknowledge where they're at, and then you paint the picture of what it's going to look like with your service. And this is so unbelievably powerful, guys, because you need to start planting that seed inside their head for them to be able to actually close, or for you to close the deal, because they got to believe you. 95% of the time when people don't buy from you, it's because they don't believe you. Okay? Again, write that down. It's because they don't believe you. Now, assuming they're not broke as hell, which you guys should probably be figuring out on the qualifying call, things like that. But if you go to ask for the money, it's because they don't believe you. So you haven't done a good enough job building that value and future pacing them, getting them to envision seeing what it would be like if they were using your product and service. Okay, so there's many different ways you can do this. One, I just did it. You can say, imagine what it can look like if you did that. And another great way is telling stories. We tell stories, I tell stories as often as humanly possible. Russell Brunson talks about this too. I think he says he tells a story like every 45 seconds or something insane. I don't remember the exact thing, but he does it all the time. And you want to use stories to help them position it, right? So if you hear somebody saying, oh, my market's tough, I live in a place where there's a lot of poor people around it, so it's really difficult, blah, blah. You know what? That's great, Mr. Business Owner. I've got a client in Stockton, California who felt exactly like you did. Right now, we're doing over 150 grand a month utilizing our services, so I'm confident we can do that in your market as well. So like they hear this, there's somebody who's in their unique situation, so they connect with that. And then you tell them what that other person was doing, and you can help bridge that gap and get them to start believing it. Okay, because again, all we need to do is get them to believe you. They don't give a shit about how much technical work we know. They don't care about any of that stuff. They care, will you get new customers, for what we're talking about here. But this can go for any type of sales process. This is more of a high level sales situation that I'm talking about here in regards to the future pacing and getting people to believe you. So anytime you don't win a deal, I want you guys to start telling yourself, I didn't build enough value. I didn't future pace enough. Okay, that's all it's about. And Sean, what's going on, my man? What's going on? Guys, if you have any questions as I'm going through some of this stuff, I got a few things. This won't be super long, but I got a few things I wanted to chat about. Let me know, because I know this concept of future pacing can, sound like it's a lot. It's really not. It's really just planting the seed inside their brain and getting them to visualize utilizing your service and what their life's going to be like. So for whatever that could be. And the only way you can really do this at a high level is if you understand their pain points and you know what their pain points are. It is so, so, so important. All of selling, all it really is, that if you want to become a lethal salesperson, you need to understand pain, and you need to understand and know what their pain is. You need to be able to figure that out quickly through your initial qualifying call in the first 5 minutes. You need to find out what it is. Because at the end of the day, if you want to sell at a high level, I want you guys to remember this concept, right? The concept is find pain point, aggravate the pain, be like, yeah, that sucks, man. Oh, we hear that all the time. Yeah, it's a mess out there in the market. Bad leads are super bad, blah, 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 right? Aggravate whatever pain point it has for what you're selling. And then from there, you want to future pace what it would be like with your service. And then you walk them down the path, visually. I love doing pitches and demos at this point. You walk them down the path of how they can get to your service, right? So we aggravate pain. We aggravate the pain, whatever that is. Let's use lead handling or bad leads, because that's a huge one. That's one we hear all the time, right? Bad leads, bad leads, bad leads. And okay, and then you go, oh, well, with our service, guess what? You'll never have to worry about that anymore, because we're going to train your staff on how to handle leads. We're going to get you to, close more leads. Okay, so you start envisioning that, planting that seed inside of them, right? And then throughout the rest of your process, you start showing them how it can actually be done. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to have weekly calls with your staff. We're going to, train them on scripts, whatever it might be. Okay, so that is an example of aggravating pain, bridging the gap, and then future pacing the solution. Okay, that's really what selling is, and that's in anything. Doesn't matter if it's weight loss. Oh, I get it. You know what? You've got. I really want to make it clear that you guys got to acknowledge people. You've got to acknowledge them where they're at. Okay, because for example, with weight loss, you can't just tell somebody, oh yeah, you're fat because you've just been eating forever. You can't stop eating. No one wants to hear that. What they want to hear is it's not their fault. They didn't know the solution, right? So that's fine. You weren't told about this. You weren't told about my new keto diet that it's going to make you shred 50 pounds in the next 6 weeks. That's okay. Everybody was things. So you empathize and acknowledge where they're at, and then you bridge that gap to the future pace solution, guys. This can work with literally everything, and it is lethal when you truly understand this concept. And guess what, guys? You can use this in everyday life, too. You can use this in everyday life. I use it around family, friends, employees, coworkers, okay? You can use it. It's very, very, very powerful. Okay, so that's what I got on future pacing, on aggravating pain, all that. I'm going to say it one more time, because this is all selling is at the end of the day. You aggravate pain, you future pace, you bridge the gap, you show them, you walk them down how they're going to get there, and then you just ask them, you built so much value as you're walking down, you ask them to go, let's get started, because they've already visualized it. So they visualize it, they see the path to how they can get to it, and then boom, they're ready to go. We've got to connect these things. They've got to be able to believe you. We've got to get them to believe you. I want you guys to start thinking like that when you're going through their sales process. I want them to believe me that I can help them. Because guess what? A majority of us in here know that we can help business owners. We know that. We know we can get them new customers. We know we can get them leads. So why are we struggling so much? Why do we struggle to close deals? Why do we struggle to have prospecting? That type of stuff. And it's because we're not doing a good enough job of exactly what I just said. So I'm obsessed with that. I'm obsessed with aggravating pain and future pacing, bridging the gap to the solution, and then getting there. Because again, we've got to get people to believe us, and we have to demonstrate and show them actively how we're going to do it. Okay, next thing that I want to chat about here today that is absolutely, absolutely critical, guys. Critical, critical, critical. A lot of you guys might have seen this before. You might have heard this concept. Hold on one sec. Hey, what's going on, Nicole? How you doing? How you doing? And that is the concept of tonality. Okay, tonality. Now, tonality, what's going on, Charles? How you doing, man? Let me know any questions you guys have. I know this idea of what I just went over with the aggravating pain, bridging the gap, future pacing. It might seem like a lot. And if I need to give more examples, I absolutely can. Yeah, Nicole, I'm using Sema's Zoom right now. I do know that my name's down there. But so I want to shift to tonality, because tonality and our language patterns is like the key to getting information inside people's heads, okay? So one of the things we have to keep in mind when we're having sales calls, we're presentations, or hell, if we're just talking to people, is we've got to keep their attention at all times, at all times. And it's even more critical in 2018 than ever before, because that means if you talk like this and you just don't say the whole same, I mean, see how much more boring this is? Do you guys really want to listen to that if I just talk in the same? Of course not. Like, that's just an example of the monotoneness, but that's how a lot of us are talking. A lot of us are selling. Now, I'm not saying you have to get all crazy and excited like I do and be like throwing stuff around. That's not what I mean, okay? But the thing is, you must start understanding tonality. You guys have probably seen or heard studies that talk about how like 80% of our communication is tonality, and it's true. And it can be heard through the phone, because you can't see body language when you're over the phone. So tonality is even more important. Okay, it's absolutely critical that you use certain points to emphasize stuff, right? So there's three things that I always like to tell people, because tonality is something that needs to be practiced. You need to start studying, you need to learn it. The number one thing you can actually do to improve your tonality is, and I'm doing it right now, and this sounds cheesy as hell, but I promise you it was one of the best things I ever did. Because for those of you guys who don't know, I used to work on a call floor in professional sports, in the NBA, and then later in the NFL. And one of my directors in the NFL one day gave us a mirror, put a mirror on everybody's desk. And he was like, you got to smile while you talk to everybody. Every single call you smile on. And when I'm going to the phone, I'm like, man, what the fuck are you talking about, man? I'm not going to smile. What are you crazy? And I did it though, because I was someone who was like, you know what, this is a director. I'm going to listen. I'm going to get it. I'm going to go after it. I want to be where he's at. I'm going to do this. And I started doing it. And my sales numbers went through the roof. I sold like 30% more that month than I had the previous. And I continued doing it and continued doing it and continued doing it. And I'm telling you guys, it sounds cheesy, but start smiling while you're on the phone with people. Now it's just a natural habit. Every time I get on the phone, I'm like, yo, what's going on? You know, always smiling, because it instantly improves your tonality if you smile while you're on the phone. Now it sounds weird at first, or it feels weird at first, but I promise you it'll make a big difference. People will be able to hear from you, because tonality is important, okay? And again, tonality, language patterns, this is a lot of stuff. Braden, go get one, bro. I'm telling you, man, I'm dead serious. Give it a shot. Give it a shot. If it doesn't work, let me hear your calls. I almost guarantee that if you get used to it, you'll start seeing it, okay? So in regards to tonality, and 3 quick ways that I would recommend getting started with, because I'm not saying you guys have to, I don't want you guys in your head as you're on sales calls, right? Oh, I need my tonality's bad here. I'm trying to do this here. One thing at a time, right? So there's 3 main things that, or 3 main points of a sales conversation that I recommend getting started, and really trying to focus on your tonality, focusing on getting your excitement, focus on not being monotone, okay? And the first is at the beginning, the very beginning. Hey, how are you? Awesome. I'm so excited to get here. Just open up excited, okay? Because that's the first, first reaction they're going to have of you guys. And it's really crucial, because again, this is all about attention grabbing. Why tonality is so important is because if I stop at certain points and then I get really excited at others, like, you're going to be listening. Your brain has to pay attention. There's psychology behind this, right? And Nicole, it absolutely works. I promise you it does. And I do it every day still. So at the beginning of the sales call, just start there. Start there with getting a little energy, getting a little excitement, a little enthusiasm. Hey, how are you? It's so great to have you. You should be excited anyways. We're on a call trying to help serve a business owner, help change their life while at the same time changing your life, right? So we should be pumped up. So start there, okay? And the next place that I would recommend doing it is the closing of the qualifying call, okay? Closing the qualifying call where you're asking to pitch and do the demo. So you have your qualifying call, you run through it. I've got some videos somewhere in this group on that, but you're going through it, and then right when you get to the pitch, you know what, Mr. Business Owner, this is perfect. You are a perfect fit. I think we could do a great job with you. I'd love to set up a time where we could talk. Okay. Love to set up a time where we could talk for half an hour and go over things. Talk about it then. Focus on those two areas, the beginning of the call and when you go for the demo. Just those two things, and start focusing on your tonality, because it can be a lot. Okay. I would also recommend, and I'll be doing more on tonality because this is like an ever-changing thing and I could talk for a long time on it. And it would really, examples and all that stuff are the biggest way to go about it. But start with those things. Okay. And then the third one is right as you're getting excited on your demo, right before you're getting ready to ask for the close, and you're reinforcing everything you've gone through on the pitch, right? Man, so we're going to do this for you and this for you and that for you. And, you know, it's only, and then, you know, you just told me you make $30,000 off of 10 leads, and it's only $500, or it's only $3,000 today, or $3,500 today, whatever your $5,000 today, whatever your pricing is. So right before you price drop, okay, those three things, I would recommend starting there with tonality. Now, on the subject of tonality, and guys, a lot of you guys, I know we see quite a few people on, a lot of you guys, this is going to be an ongoing discussion with me to continue dialing in. So there is quite a bit of information on this call, but I wanted to start planting seeds right now so that you guys can start thinking like a true salesperson. And it's really not even a salesperson. This is somebody of influence. This is somebody who knows how to influence other people and who knows how to get people to do what you want. Now, some people see that as, oh, you're a manipulator, blah, blah. It's like, well, what the hell is the difference between selling, manipulation, and influence? Manipulation is just negative, right? But for us, we've got something that we want to offer to business owners that can help them and serve them, hopefully. Hopefully you guys have a good service, right? And then, of course, we want to do anything we can in order to get those people to help them, right? In order to service them. So this is all about influence. This is very deep influence tactics that I'll be doing, you know, here over the next couple months, talking a lot more things I've learned, NLP, all that. Now, the next one is similar to tonality here, and it's called, it's pacing again, but don't confuse this with future pacing. This is pacing the person that you were talking to, the person you're discussing with. The reason why I hate word for word scripts, I love roadmaps. You've got to have a place to go. You've got to have questions. You've got to have ideas of where you're going to do. Anyone who doesn't have the roadmap, I think it's in the pin post. Make sure you guys go and download that so you can walk through your qualifying calls good. It's because everyone's a little bit different, and you don't want to say the exact same thing to people. What do I mean by pacing the other person? Well, what I mean by that is, for example, I used to work in the NFL in Tampa, and down in Tampa, there's some people over there very slow. They're from the South. They talk real slow. They live the slower lifestyle, you know, all that type of stuff. And if you guys don't notice, I get really pumped up. I talk fast. I'm like, yeah. And I realized that I was really overwhelming them as I was breaking down my calls. So I started looking more into this. And there's a whole world about this whole thing that when you're talking to people, you want to mirror what they're doing. You want to mirror how they act so that you can start building subconscious connections with them. So what I started doing was slowing down my conversations when I noticed they were talking slow. I really slowed it down, and I really caught myself. Plus, that also started getting me thinking about how fast I was talking on calls, what that looked like, anything like that. So pay attention to the other side of the line if who you're talking to. There's really like 4 main types of people, right? And I'm not going to get super deep into that, but I would start recommending looking into that if you guys really want to become top influencers, top sellers. But if somebody talks really fast, pick up the pace. Pick up the pace, guys. If they talk slow, slow down the pace. If there's certain types of prospects that want to talk forever, want to tell stories, want to share things. So you know what you do? You share things. You build rapport. You build with them. Oh yeah, that's a great point. I love fishing too, man. Oh, sweet. Yeah, the weather's great out here. Whatever, right? Tell those stories. Now there's some, I always recommend everybody at least try and at the beginning of the call, start building rapport. Start trying to build rapport, right? But then you're going to get to some people who just don't want to freaking talk. And that's fine. That's just how they are. There's some people who just don't want to open up, don't want to share stories. So adjust, okay? Adjust to that and pull back on your stories. Like, that's why it's like when it's a forced script, forced thing, it's like, well, you got to read and react off the other person a little bit, you know? This whole game of selling, of communication, of influence isn't quite something you can just read out of a handbook. You know what I mean? So pay attention to that when you guys are talking to people on calls, guys. It's really powerful, really important to slow down your speech if you're talking to somebody slow, speed up if you're talking to fast, share stories if they want to share stories, don't share stories if they don't want to share stories. I mean, that's really, you know, that's really it when it comes to that. Okay. So the next thing that I want to talk about here is confidence. Confidence, confidence, confidence. And this is a tough one because at the end of the day, confidence is like one of the biggest keys to selling. You must have confidence in yourself and in your product, right? And there's a lot of us out there who don't have confidence right now. You know, we don't have confidence in sales. We don't know if we can fulfill. So how do we build that? How do we go for it? And the key really is focusing on getting some results first. Like I really recommend people go out and get some case studies, some quick testimonials, whether that's through trials, paid trials, friends, family, because that really helps build the confidence, right? I know there's some experts out there who will say, oh, I should never do that. Don't ever discount your services. Bullshit. Like we built $1 million company off trials, and people do trials all the time, especially when you're at the beginning, because at the end of the day, what selling is a transference of energy. It's a transference of confidence. That's why people are afraid of salespeople. Because they can get sold shit. If you get so excited about, you know, this ice and you're in Alaska and you're like, oh, I'm going to sell this ice. You know, that's what they say, talk about ice to Eskimos, you know, because all it is selling energy and selling the confidence that you have. So it's very important to start building confidence and working on that. Now, there's a couple ways to really build confidence. One is to sell more and to get on the phone more, because every call, everything you get closer, you're going to get more confident. You're going to be less scared and less nervous as you get on the call. That's really the best way, by the way. The other way is to gain self-confidence as a human, in yourself, as a person, right? And the easiest way to start building self-confidence in yourself is to become somebody who does what they say they're going to do. Now, I understand that doesn't have anything to do with selling right now. I'm just talking about confidence in general, right? Confidence in general, confidence in life. Like one of the big reasons why we're afraid to start new habits or we're afraid to do certain things is because there's been so many things we've tried and just stopped doing, right? Just think about it. Let me know in the comments, guys. Let me know in the comments if you did 50% of what you said you were going to do, if your life would be different. 50%. And I'm guilty of this as well. Okay, so start doing the little things. Start doing those things. That's how you really start to build self-confidence, right? Things as small as I'm going to send out these videos. I'm going to plan my day, and I'm going to do my prospecting in the morning and get that done. And then I'm going to hang out with my kids and my family here in the early afternoon for lunch and get that done. Like little things build confidence. If you do them over and over again, I'm going to go to the gym today, one day at a time. You start building that type of stuff, okay? That's how you really start building confidence. And then confidence sales, so much of it comes down to getting on the phone and selling more. Nobody is good the first time they do something. Nobody is good at it. Nobody, okay? It's a process, guys. It's a process. And if you've been struggling to sell, you've been struggling to close deals, that's okay. It's okay, guys. It's okay. I spent 10 months when I first started our agency, 0 sales, told face-to-face 70 business owners, told no, nothing, until I put together a sales process that works and that still works and really figured this whole thing out. And guess what, guys? I actually had a background in sales. I had already made 40,000 phone calls. So you've got to have a proven framework, and you've got to go have calls, you've got to get out there, and you've got to talk in order to build that confidence. It's the only way. It's the only way to get confidence in anything, guys, is to actually do the damn thing. Nobody was good the first time they do stuff, okay? Nobody. Same thing with going Facebook Lives, anything like that. You know, or you guys might go, oh, well, Nick, you sound blah, blah. Well, guess what? If you saw my old videos, I know people who are in the Crusaders course have seen some of my old videos where I'm much more relaxed and calm, and it's a completely different thing. But guess what? I just kept making videos, kept doing stuff, kept doing lives over and over again every week. I still remember my first ever live. I was an interview on Facebook. It was probably about a year and a half ago. I was hella nervous. I was like freaking out. So it's okay. Understand that it is okay. What's up, Tony? My man, my brother right there, dude. Great to see you, Tony. It's okay to not have confidence. The only way you're going to get confidence is by doing the damn thing. Now what I want to talk about, okay? So we got to build confidence, but I want to talk about the two things. There's two main things that hold everybody back. Okay, and so why we don't do what we do and why we're scared to go after those hurdles. It's literally two main things that stop us from doing stuff. And that is faith in our ability to actually complete it and get it done. And 2, fear. Okay, the 2 F's. Faith and fear are why we don't do anything in life, especially when you consider the fact that everything we want in life is on the other side of our fears. We should really be thinking about this, right? Like you should be like, if you go after what you're fearful of, you're going to get what you want in life. I can promise you that. Obviously to a non-stupid degree, guys. You know, I'm talking about making phone calls, hitting on that girl or guy, whatever you got to do. But faith and fear are what's holding you back. And that is faith that you can change the environment and the reality around you. And then fear of what other people are going to think of you if you try. Think about how silly it is. I want to start with fear for a moment. Because fear, 99% of our fears in 2018, like literally come down to what other people are going to think of us. But guess what, guys? Everybody else is thinking the same thing. They're worried about what you're thinking of them. They are not thinking about you. I promise. You guys can dissect this. Think about this. Let's say you saw somebody trip and fall at the gym. Okay? You might think in your seconds, oh, damn, that sucks. That looks shitty. And you might think about it for like 10 seconds, right? And then you're gone. You're thinking about something else. You're done. No one really cares if somebody tripped and fell at the gym. Now, if you're a newbie at the gym and you tripped and fell, that's going to just scar you. Like, I mean, not for everybody, obviously, but for a lot of people. You start building anxiety about, oh my gosh, you look like such an idiot. Everyone's watching. Nobody's freaking watching. They don't care. They're not thinking about you. People are selfish, right? We've got 7.5 billion people on this planet, and we're all fucking afraid of each other. We all are afraid of each other. It's mind-blowing to me, right? It's mind-blowing to me. Guys, just so you know, I'm not perfect. I'm not saying I would be, if I walked up and, you know, shook Gary Vaynerchuk's hand, I wouldn't like be a little nervous or something like that. Ty Lopez, whatever, right? But when you understand that we're all afraid of each other and that there's literally, it doesn't matter, that no one's thinking about you, like you start to care about that stuff less. So who cares if you have a shitty sales call? Who cares if a business owner that you're calling to try and follow up with hangs up on you and tells you to go fuck yourself? There's 7.5 billion people out there, guys. There's millions of business owners. I promise you there's plenty of money. Okay, so the goal is to fail as fast as you possibly can. So fear is just insane, especially when it comes to sales, when it comes to talking with people. Okay, and faith. I want to talk a little bit about faith now. And when I say faith, you can take it however you'd like as far as universe, whatever. But it's really what it comes down to, and what I'm getting here is faith that you can change the current situation that is in front of you. You must believe that it can happen for you. Okay, you must believe it. And I'm here to tell you that it can happen for you. You can get the life you want. You can get the life you deserve. I promise you. The reason why we're so nervous about it, why we second guess ourselves, why we struggle with this concept, is because the world is fucking full of shit. And the world, especially right now, if you go turn on the news, everybody's a victim. Everybody's held down. There's privilege everywhere. You can't get what you want. It's all bullshit. Like, you can go get what you want out of life, okay? And we need more people telling us that, letting us know that we can make happen what we want to happen if we go attack. If we don't ever take no for an answer, if we continue to do shit, we continue to do shit over and over again, you can go get what you want out of life, okay? I'm going to tell you that. Going to tell you that your dreams are okay, that you can make them happen, okay? Now, once you have that, once you've got that faith, and you realize that fear is bullshit and isn't anything, you've got to take massive, massive, massive action, guys. Massive action. Like, so real quick note on the law of attraction, real fast. I'm a big believer in visualization. I'm a big believer in belief. I'm a big believer in you must picture yourself and see it, similar to how what we do to a prospect, like I talked about at the beginning of this call. Right, I talked about how we need to get the prospect to believe and see our service. I'm a huge believer that we need to as well. We must believe, we must see. Now, the reason why I hate shit like The Secret and all this other crap is because they don't ever talk about the action it needs to be taken. You need to go take massive, massive amounts of action. You need to go get massive amounts of feedback from your environment. You need to go fail, and then you course correct and you do more shit, okay? Darren Hardy says this in Entrepreneur Roller Coaster. It's one of my favorite books for entrepreneurs, guys. Entrepreneur Roller Coaster, Darren Hardy. I would recommend it for everybody so you can understand that you're not alone in this life, that it sucks, that it's hard, that it's ups and downs, but at the end of the day, it's completely worth it. He says the most successful person in any room is the person who's failed the fastest and fails the quickest. Okay, I'm going to say it again. The most successful person in any room is the person who's failed the most, the fast, and the quickest. So he used to fall in love with failing because he would just go try new things and keep trying and keep trying. And guess what? When you try things and it doesn't work, that's fine. You just course correct. You change a little bit. If you tried everything, you'd fucking get there. you'd have the money you want, you'd have the life that you want, right? But most of us, we don't even try. We're not even doing shit. We're working at like 10% of our human capacity, right? To go out and do things. We all know that we have so much more inside of us. Okay, Inky Johnson, one of my favorite motivational speakers, talks about this a lot. He talks about pulling that other person inside of you out. Okay, because no matter how hard you think you're working, no matter what you think you're doing, no matter how much you're working on your goals, there's someone inside of you who works even harder, who's willing to do even more. So you can continue to push yourself and push yourself. And if you understand that, it's very, very valuable. So I encourage you guys to get, actually, I read this in Ray Dalio's book, Principles. I'm going to take it from another great book, guys. I loved this. He has what he calls mistake learner's high. So he talks about getting high off of his mistakes, because from mistakes, that's where you really learn what works and you learn how to get what you want, right? I've made more mistakes than I could ever imagine. I would say one of the biggest keys that me and Ben have had in building B-Top Local, and one of the biggest separators between the people who are building and doing a lot of stuff is people who are borderline reckless to go try shit, okay? Because at the end of the day, I don't know what's going to work, guys. We just throw shit at the wall until it sticks. Like, I'm serious. You know, the gurus out there, these guys will be like, oh, man, you know, blah, blah. I know exactly what it is. I've never made a mistake. Bullshit. They make tons of mistakes, right? I do it every day. But you know what? I'm not afraid to take action. I'm not afraid to jump. I'm not afraid to try, because I know that when I get feedback from the environment, AKA failure, I can course correct and change what I'm doing and continue to take more and more and more action, okay? Tony, Compound Effect is one of my all-time favorite books, brother. Eugene, my man, what's up? You'll want to watch the beginning of this one, man. I went over a lot of good stuff at the beginning here, Eugene. So learn to love failure, guys. Learn to love failure. Learn to get high off the mistakes and not get down on them, okay? Because that's the next topic and probably the last one. I could talk all day about some of this mindset shit and how we should view life. But the next topic I want to talk about relates directly to failure and how we interpret it. Life is simply an interpretation of what we tell ourselves is happening in the environment around us. Okay, let me say it one more time. All life is an interpretation of what this voice, this crazy voice, the maniacal voice inside our head is telling us about what's going on around us, right? But we can control the direction of that voice. We might not be able to shut the fucking thing off, but we can control the direction of it, right? So if you learn and understand this concept, life is 10% what happens to you, 90% how you react, it's a game changer, game over, okay? Because if you learn and understand that you can get good out of every situation, as opposed to dwelling on it, anxiety, depression building, all kinds of issues, like you can change, it's so powerful for life if you look at everything for the positive, right? Because at the end of the day, guys, you get what you look for in life. Where focus goes, energy flows. One of my favorite concepts. It's the absolute truth, guys. Where focus goes, energy flows. Okay, you get what you look for in life. We all know people like this. We all know people who are super negative, sick all the time. Oh, the world sucks. Bad shit keeps happening to them. It's kind of crazy. I don't know what's going on with the universe and all that type of stuff, but it's pretty amazing how it's really connected with our thoughts and how we look at things. Now, to prove to you guys that you get what you look for in life and every situation. Oh, here's the other thing. The one concept I want to say before I share the study is, and I think Shakespeare said this, everything in life is neutral. Every event is 100% neutral, but thinking makes it so. Okay, I'm going to say it one more time. Every event in life is neutral. Thinking makes it so. We give power to events that happen around us, and that's how we feel emotionally from it. So we need to start directing how we are looking at events that happen, because again, we can control what we're having. We can look for good or the bad. We can dwell on everything that's wrong, or we can look for the new opportunities, because guess what? If a bad thing fucking happens, you're not going to do shit about it by dwelling on it. So you might as well look for the good. You know, it doesn't mean you have to be happy about it, but it means you can change. You can move on with it, okay? So the study, and I love this study. It's very simple, but I hope it gets the point across for you guys as to you get what you look for in life. There is a street, right? There's a street, and it's a neighborhood. Let's just say it's a neighborhood block. And there's two different groups of people, and they've got them separated, right? So what the researchers told the first group was walk down the block, and as you're walking down, look for everything negative everything negative on the block, okay? Everything bad about the neighborhood, whether there's boats on the lawn, cracked windows, shitty roofs, chipped paint, bad grass, whatever, right? Look for all the negative. They told the positive people, or I'm sorry, they told the other group to look for everything positive that's going on, everything positive out there. And, you know, look for, you know, if it's a nice door, if it's whatever, nice cars, kids playing in the street that looks fun. And so two groups of people, same street, same exact block. Now, afterwards, they surveyed the people and they asked them, what was your impression of the neighborhood? Guess what happened? Negative group thought it was negative. Positive group thought it was a great neighborhood. Same neighborhood. All because of what they were looking for when they got it. We don't understand how many things we miss, guys, because of what we're looking for. If we're looking for opportunities, we're going to find them. If we're looking for negativity, we're going to find it. Because guess what? I'm not here to tell you the world is a nice place. It's a fucked up and shitty, terrible place if you let it do that to you, right? But you can find a lot of good in life, okay? You can find a lot of good. If you come from a place of, Jordan Peterson says that, and I've been really interested in loving his philosophical discussions recently. He basically says that, he says this, and it really hit me hard. It's like most people are literally just trying not to be miserable before they die. Now, that's very, very pessimistic, right? But if we understand that life is rough and we're not going to always get what we want and people are going to have privileges and other people are going to be in better spots, then it's okay. We let that go and we come from where we're at. We've got to play the hand that we're dealt and we've got to build up from there, right? So it's really powerful to take that type of mentality when you're coming into things. So keep that in mind, guys. What you focus on in life, you are going to get more of. You know, this is said all different kinds of ways, all throughout history. The Buddha talks about what you think about what you become. You know, it's all throughout history. So start paying attention to what you're thinking about and what you're focusing on, because I promise you guys, if you start really practicing some of the things that I just went over, some of these tips in regards to how your mind works and how you're viewing your reality, you're going to start noticing opportunities. You're going to start looking at things differently. You're going to start appreciating life. Now, the last thing that I'm going to end with, guys, is, and this is completely separate. Now I kind of went on a little tangent from sales here, but all this stuff is so important to sales, because to be good at selling, shit, you've got to have a good state of mind. You've got to be in a good frame, and you've got to be excited, and you've got to have a good outlook. You've got to be optimistic, all that stuff, because people can feel your energy even through the phone. Remember earlier I said selling is a transference of energy. Okay, but the last thing that I want to talk about today is always, always, always living in gratitude. Always be thankful. Okay, wake up every morning, think about what you're thankful for. Before you go to bed at night, think about what you're thankful for. This is so powerful. This is a simple concept. Like, they've studied this throughout the end. I think it was the Happiness Habit. A great book by Sean Aker, whatever the Sean Aker book is on happiness. I don't remember if that was what it was. Was awesome. He's a Harvard guy, lots of studies on stuff. The most immediate way to boost your happiness in life is to write down 5 things you're grateful for every day. That simple of a concept. 5 things you're grateful for, and really think about them and feel them. Because here's the thing, guys, if we start playing the envy game, the jealousy game, those are like the 2 worst human emotions. Like, nothing good comes from jealousy and envy ever. Okay, some guys, if you guys have been watching me for a while, you know that I think pain and anger can be good, because pain and anger can be channeled and fueled into work and grinding and getting what you want, right? But jealousy and envy, never any good. So focus on gratitude, okay? Because no matter how bad it might seem, no matter how bad shit things might be going on or sales calls might be your business, you've probably got it a lot better than somebody else. And somebody else from a much worse situation has done a lot more than what we're currently doing. So you always want to keep that in mind, because it's so easy to start building the envy game, or this guy does that, or he's easy because he's whatever, or his family's got money, or she's really good looking, whatever it might be. Okay, focus on gratitude, focus on what you're thankful for. There's always something that you can be looking for, that you can be thankful for in life. Okay, guys? And I got one more. One more thing here I want to talk about, because it came to me as I was chatting here. And I talked a minute ago about gratitude. If you write down 5 things in your journal every day, you're going to be happier, like 25% increase in happiness, like literally. They've measured this stuff. They've seen it everywhere. I know it to be true. I think about my gratitude every day. That's a simple habit. 95% of the people watching this aren't going to start doing it. Why? What's going on? What we need to understand and start realizing is that those little habits like that, the getting up early, the exercising every day, the meditation and priming, the spending time with your kids, your loved ones, the not overeating, those little things that are simple in the time, but also really difficult long term. Those are the big things that make you into becoming a person of massive confidence, of becoming a person who is proud of who they are. Those little things, the little things like writing what you're grateful, 5 things you're grateful for every day. Okay, those little things are what add up. The 1% method is what it's all about. Because Tony just brought up Compound Effect, which is one of my all-time favorite books. And the little things over time are what add up. The little things like that. Those little habits. We might think, it's not a big deal if I miss a day or 2 days. No, we got to do it every day. Earlier, you heard me talking. What if we did 50% of what we said we were going to do? What if we did 50%? You'd be in a different place. I can promise you that, right? I can promise you that. So doing the little things is very, very important. A habit that I've recently picked up about 3 or 4 months ago after listening to a YouTube video from an ex-Navy SEAL, I don't remember his name right now, is making my bed every morning. Because you know what? I want to start the day with momentum. Last week, I made a post on how momentum and how important it is. So I start off every single morning and I make my bed. I do the same thing every day. Because when you start doing those little things, you build habits of momentum. You start believing yourself. You start believing yourself in what you can do, what you're capable of, because you become a person of your word who sticks to your word. And this escalates, guys. It snowballs. Over time, doing those little things will turn you into a different person. It'll turn you into a machine. I promise you. I promise you. So I could ramble for hours and hours and hours on this stuff. It's been longer than I anticipated. Braden, I appreciate that, my man. I'm going to have to get you on, and we're going to have to talk some Eckhart Tolle one of these days and really dive deep into the mind and the voice inside the head and, you know, how we're the one who observes the voice, but we'll get to that. But last thing I want to mention, guys, is as you guys have seen, we do have the Agency Sales Crusader replay out where I do a mega training on on the proven framework we're using over here to generate and prospect appointments. I'm talking about how to set up video sales letters to get video clients. I'm talking about exactly how to run sales calls in that replay. We've opened Agency Sales Crusaders, the course as well. It's closing June 24th. Sunday, June 24th, they will be shut down. Right now, we have a ton, ridiculous amounts of mega bonuses available in that. So I'm going to make a post on that. I'm going to send you guys a link. If you guys haven't watched the replay, I'll drop it in there. I would highly recommend checking it out. The testimonials are insane. We've got tons of them everywhere, and we're adding a ton more into the course. So we've got a big portion of the course already ready to go. Over the next few weeks and really over the week of the 4th of July, we're going to be blasting it out and be done with a ton of new stuff, everything from inbound schedules on autopilot, so you can run Facebook ads to get those in, mindset trainings. Sema is going to come in and do a full Facebook ads training from A to Z, beginner to expert to done. We're going to be doing, this is going to be one of the major bonuses as well, lifetime access to the Crusader Roundtable, where we're going to have weekly live calls as well as Q&As, and I'll be bringing out my friends from my network, big business people talking everything from sales to psychology, all that type of stuff. There's a ton of crap, guys, ton of stuff in there. I'll put a link in this video for you guys if you want to check out the sales page, learn a little bit more about that. And the replay as well. We're going to be doing another live webinar next Thursday. If you guys missed the first one or you just don't want to watch the replay and you just want to come hang out live and ask questions, dope, let's do it. So with that being said, and Braden, I appreciate that. My man Braden's in there. He's the man. I think Braden, you were like getting prospecting appointments in like the first day or something like that. But anyways, guys, appreciate all of you guys' time here today. If you guys like this type of stuff, if you like me just rambling about some mindset, let me know. I'll do more of this. I'm probably going to do it anyways because I love this stuff and I want to share it out. And I know it's going to connect with some people because it connected with me. Like, I mean, just so you guys know, I didn't just like make up all this stuff. I just read a lot of books and study and implement. And I just want to get the message across quick to you guys that I think can be beneficial. So with that being said, guys, happy Saturday. Hope you all have a great weekend, and we're going to call it.